Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to our math online class. At kung hindi ka pa pag-subscribe, pakipindot naman ang subscribe button. Salamat. Okay, so we are with our lesson 7, okay? And it talks about the asymptotes of rational functions, okay? And our objectives are the following. First, define asymptotes of rational function. Solve the asymptotes of rational functions, okay? So let's start here by this definition. Asymptote is a line or a curve that the graph of a function gets close to but does not touch. Okay? So para maintindihan yan, let's have this illustration. So this is an example of a graph of a rational function. Okay? So kung nakikita niyo yung broken lines na yan, okay? Yung mga broken lines na yan, yan yung ating asymptote line. Okay? So kung napapansin mo yung ating graph, no? Parang malapit na siya sa broken lines na yan, pero it will never touch. So yan ibig sabihin ng asymptote natin, okay? It is a line or a curve that the line of a graph of function gets close to but does not touch, okay? So kung napapansin nyo sa ating graph, there are two broken lines, okay? These are the vertical and the horizontal asymptotes, okay? So what do you mean by vertical asymptotes? The line x is equal to a is a vertical asymptote of the graph if f of x approaches positive infinity or f of x approaches negative infinity as x approaches a either from right or from left. Okay? So kung nakikita niyo yung ating vertical asymptote, okay, yung kulay blue na broken lines, napapansin niyo yung blue na broken lines. Okay? So kung napapansin niyo dito, okay, sa taas na to, our y is positive here, or our f of x, okay? So our f of x here is approaching positive infinity. So kapag tinuloy mo yung graph na yan, it will go positive infinity, okay? Samantalang sa baba naman, dito sa baba, napapansin nyo, sa baba naman, yung our f of x here is going or approaching to negative infinity. Kapag tinuloy mo yung graph na to, papunta yan sa negative infinity. Okay? Sige. Next. The line y is equal to b is a horizontal asymptote of the graph if x approaches positive infinity or x approaches negative infinity as f of x approaches b. Okay? So dito naman tayo sa ating red na broken lines. Okay? Red broken line. Okay? So kung napapansin mo yung graph dito, okay, yung red, okay? Kung napapansin nyo yung graph dito, okay, yung value ng ating x dyan, no, approaches positive infinity. Okay, kapag tinuloy-tuloy mo yan, it will go to positive infinity, our x. Okay, samantalang dito sa kabila naman, our x here is approaching negative infinity papunta sa kaliwa. Okay, sige, that is going to the left rather. Papunta siya sa negative infinity as our f of x approaches b. Okay? So, yun yung purpose ng ating asymptote. That's why, importante na marunong tayong maghanap ng ating vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote para kapag nag-graph tayo ng rational function, madali lang tayong sketch. Okay? Sige. Tuloy natin. Okay? Finding asymptotes. Okay? Paano hanapin si vertical asymptotes? Okay? They are the restrictions on the x values of a reduced rational function. To find the restrictions, equate the denominator to 0 and solve for x. So, parang madali lang sa atin to kasi yung vertical asymptote daw, i-equate lang natin yung denominator equal to 0 at malalaman natin yung restrictions at yung restrictions na yun, that will be our value of the vertical asymptotes. Okay, and take note that the factors that are cancelled when a rational function is reduced represent holes in the graph. Okay, so kung napapansin niyo minsan sa mga graph natin, may mga graph minsan na may mga butas. Butas. Para may mga butas siya, di ba? So those holes are factors that are cancelled kapag nag-factor tayo ng ating equation or function. Okay? Sige. For horizontal asymptotes naman, we will have the horizontal asymptotes are determined by comparing the degrees of n of x and d of x in the f of x is equal to nx over dx. So napakadali lang hanapin si horizontal asymptotes. Kina-compare lang natin yung degree or yung exponent ng ating numerator and denominator. Okay? So if n is less than m, the graph of f has the line y equal to 0 as a horizontal asymptote. Okay? So kapag yung degree or exponent ng numerator is lesser or mas maliit to our denominator, yung ating horizontal asymptote is doon mismo sa ating sa ating x-axis. Okay? Yung sa x na line, doon mismo yung ating horizontal asymptote. Okay? Sige. If n is equal to m, the graph of f has the line y is equal to a sub n over b sub m as the horizontal asymptote, where a sub n and b sub n are the leading coefficients of the numerator and the denominator respectively. So kapag yung degree naman or exponent ng ating numerator and denominator ay equal, so yung titingnan mo lang daw is yung the numerical coefficient of the leading term. Okay? Yung the leading term, yung pinakaunang term ng ating functions, and then yun yung magiging horizontal asymptote ng ating graph. Okay? Basta equal. Okay? Yung leading coefficient, yung yung pinakauna nila. Okay? Yung may pinakamalaking exponent. Okay? Basta equal silang dalawa. Yung numerical coefficient, yun yung kukunin mo as horizontal asymptote. Okay? Makikita niyo mamaya sa ating example. Okay? Next. Oblique or slant asymptotes. Okay? Meron namang oblique or slant asymptotes. Kapag wala siyang horizontal, ibig sabihin meron siyang oblique. Okay? So kung walang horizontal, therefore meron oblique. Okay? Try natin. Oblique asymptotes occurs when the numerator of f of x has a degree that is 1 higher than the degree of the denominator. If you have this situation, simply divide the numerator by the denominator by either using long division or synthetic division. The oblique asymptote is the quotient with the remainder ignored and set equal to y. Okay, so ano yung ibig sabihin ng oblique asymptote? Para malaman natin yan, kailangan daw, kapag tingnan mo yung numerator and denominator, our numerator has a 1 higher than the degree of the denominator. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki ng 1 point, 1 point lang mas malaki ng 1 point ang ating numerator, yung kanyang exponent compared to our denominator. So, ibig sabihin, meron siyang oblique asymptotes. At paano siya i-solve? Napakadali lang. We're just gonna divide using synthetic or long division. Alam kong alam niyo na yan. Okay? Sige, let's have this example. Find the asymptotes of the following rational functions. So we have f of x is equal to 1 over x plus 1. Okay, so hanapin natin yung vertical asymptotes. Okay, to find the vertical asymptote, set the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. Since in our rational function f of x is equal to 1 over x plus 1, our exponent is x plus 1. So yung gagawin, equal to, i-equate natin siya sa 0. So magiging x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then we're going to eliminate 1 by subtracting 1 to both sides. Okay, so we'll have x is equal to negative 1. Or, ilipat natin yung positive 1 sa kabila. Pag nilipat natin sa equal sign, magiging opposite sign na siya. Okay? Or opposite operation. So, pag magiging positive, magiging negative. Okay? Sige. So, our vertical asymptote will be negative 1. Okay? So, kung i-graph mo siya, okay, nakikita niyo yung ating Cartesian plane. So, pag nag-graph tayo ng ating x is equal to negative 1, so, dyan yan siya. Okay? Kung nakikita niyo yung ating blue broken line. So, yan yung ating vertical asymptote, that is negative 1. Okay? So, yung graph mo dyan, maaring pa ganito or maaring pa ganyan. Okay? Depende. Sige. Okay, at least meron na kayong idea kung saan tayo banda magsisimulang mag-sketch ng ating rational function. Okay? Sige, next. How about yung kanyang horizontal asymptote? Okay, ano nga? The degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, or our n is less than m. So the graph has the line y equal to 0 as a horizontal asymptote. So kung napapansin nyo yung ating equation, f of x is equal to 1 over x plus 1. Yung ating numerator ay walang literal coefficient, so automatic 0. Okay, yung kanyang literal coefficient. Samantalang yung denominator natin ay may x dito. Meron siyang literal coefficients. So, yung numerator natin is mas mababa yung kanyang degree kumpara sa ating denominator. So, if our n is less than m, so yung horizontal asymptote natin can be found sa ating x line, okay, or sa ating x axis. So, ating horizontal asymptote. Sige, tingnan natin yung graph. Kung kanina yung ating vertical asymptote ay nasa -1, yung ating horizontal asymptote naman ay nasa 0. Okay? So, y is equal to 0. Okay? So, or kapag y is equal to 0, yung ating horizontal asymptote ay equivalent or pantay sa ating x-axis. Okay? So, pag nag-graph ka dito, maaaring paganyan yung graph mo, or pwede rin sa quadrant 3, pwede rin sa quadrant 1, pwede rin sa quadrant 4. Okay? So, at least meron ka ng basis kung ano yung magiging itsura or yung posisyon ng inyong rational function. Okay? Sige. Next, find the asymptotes of the following rational function. We have g of x is equal to 4x over 2x plus 1. Okay, so let's find first the vertical asymptote. To find the vertical asymptote, set the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. So our denominator is 2x plus 1. Equate natin sa 0, we'll have 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so eliminate natin si positive 1, ilipat natin sa kabila. Okay, or we will have x is equal to negative 1 half. Okay, sinabay ko na nalipat yung 1, pag nilipat sa kabila, magiging negative. Okay, so yung 2 naman, 2 times x, di ba, pag nilipat mo sa kabila, yung multiplication mo, nagiging opposite niya, that is division. So, yung 2 times x, pag nilipat mo, magiging divide na yung 2. So, we will have 1 over negative 1 half. Okay? So, dinirect ko na lang siya. Okay? Sige. So, kapag nag-graph na tayo, okay, so our x is equal to negative 1 half. So, dito siya banda makikita. So, dyan ka maglalagay ng ating broken lines that will signifies as our vertical asymptote. Wow, signifies. Okay, so dito yung graph natin. Okay, so kailangan yung graph mo, hindi siya magta-touch dito sa ating broken lines. At least alam natin kung gaano siya kalayo, okay, sa ating y-axis natin. Okay? So, yan yung purpose ng paghanap natin ng vertical asymptote or ng ating asymptotes. That's why importante siya. Right? Next. Sa horizontal asymptote naman, okay? Let's compare the degree of our numerator and denominator, okay? So, yung 4x natin, ano yung degree niya? 1, okay? Kasi para silang may x, okay? Ano yung degree niya? 1. Sa baba naman, yung 2x, ano yung degree niya? 1 din. So, equal silang dalawa. So, the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree of the denominator, or our n is equal to m. The leading coefficient of the numerator is 4 and the leading coefficient of the denominator is 2. Okay? So, equal sila. Kasi 4x, yung kanyang degree is 1, at yung 2x naman natin, yung kanyang degree naman is 1. So, therefore, equal sila. So, we're going to follow the condition number 2 is n is equal to m. So, kapag para sila, ano nga, kukunin natin yung kanyang leading coefficient. Ano yung kanyang leading numerical coefficient? That is 4 and 2. So, pwede mo silang i-divide. Okay? So, since our coefficients is equal to y is equal to 4 divided by 2 or equal to 2. So, thus, 2 is the horizontal asymptote. So, again, napakasimple lang. Kapag equal yung kanyang exponent or degree, we're just going to divide, okay, the leading coefficient or leading numerical coefficient to be exact. That is 4 and 2. So, 4 divided by 2 will give us 2. Therefore, 2 is the horizontal asymptote. So, nag-graph natin. So, kanina is negative 1 half. Okay, so dito negative 1 half kanina. Okay, kasi yung iba itong 2, 4, 6 kasi. So, dito usually, dito yung 1, dito yung negative 1 half. And then, our horizontal asymptote is 2. Okay, so ito na yung horizontal asymptote natin. So, kapag nag-graph tayo, either yung graph mo is dito, pwede rin dito, pwede rin dito, and then pwede rin dito. At least alam mo yung magiging itsura ng iyong graph ng rational function at least meron kayong guide. Okay, that's why importante na bago tayo mag-graph, no, hanapin mo natin yung horizontal and vertical asymptotes. Okay? So, ganun lang siya ka simple, no? Okay? Sige. I hope naintindihan niyo yan. Next. Find the asymptotes of the following rational functions. H of x is equal to x squared over x minus 1. Okay? X squared over x minus 1. Solution. To find the vertical asymptote, set the denominator equal to 0 and solve for x. Okay? So our denominator is x minus 1, equate mo sa 0. Okay? Transpose negative 1 sa kabila, magiging positive 1. So we'll have x is equal to 1. So our vertical asymptote is x equal to 1. So kapag nag-graph tayo, yung 1 natin is dito. Okay? Dito. So dito ka maglalagay ng ating broken lines, which is our vertical asymptote equal to positive 1. So pwede kang dito, or pwede kang dyan, simula ng pag-graph. Okay? Basta yung graph mo hindi pwedeng mag-touch sa positive 1. Alright? Or yung x mo, hindi siya pwedeng maging equal sa negative, sa positive 1. Okay? Let's find for the horizontal asymptote, comparing the degree of our numerator and the denominator. So kung napapansin nyo, our x here is squared and our x sa baba is isa lang yung degree. Ibig sabihin, lamang ng 1 point ang ating numerator. Our n is n plus 1. Yung mas lamang siya ng 1 point sa ating denominator. So ibig sabihin, wala siyang horizontal asymptote. Tama? Kasi sa condition kanina sa oblique, na if our n is 1 degree higher than the degree of the denominator, meron siyang oblique asymptote. Okay? So the degree of the numerator is 1 greater than the degree of the denominator, hence the graph has no horizontal asymptote. Get the oblique asymptote by using syntactic or long division. Okay? So kapag lamang na 1 point ang numerator sa denominator ng kanyang degree, so we are going to divide them using long and synthetic division. So ano mangyayari? So x squared divided by x minus 1. So i-divide natin sila. Okay? So yung graph natin kanina, ano nga yung value ng ating vertical asymptote? That is 1. Okay? 1 kanina. So hanapin naman natin yung kanyang vertical, yung horizontal. Okay? So divide natin. X squared divided by x minus 1. Okay? So x squared divided by x is x. X times x is x squared. And 1, x times negative 1 is negative x. So subtract. No? Change the sign. So magiging positive x. So x divided by x is 1. 1 times x is x. And 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Okay? So remainder natin is positive 1. Pero naman, di ba, we have to ignore naman the remainder. So yung magiging yung magiging horizontal yung magiging oblique asymptote natin is x plus 1. So paring pwedeng ganun. Okay? So hence our y is equal to x plus 1, or our oblique asymptote is x plus 1. So paano buwa ng oblique asymptote? Simple lang. We're just going to assign values for x and then solve for pair. Sa pair niya, hanapin mo yung kanyang pair. Okay? So you can have this. No, you can have this. So, halimbawa, dito may point dito. Okay? Dito na point. So kung papalitan mo yung x mo ng 2, so for example, our x is 2, or 1 rather. Our x is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So 1 and 2, i-pair mo yung 1 and 2, halimbawa, pair 1 and 2. So magkakaroon ka ng point dito, and then tapusin mo siya. Let's say for example, you will assign 5 values for x. Okay? 5 values for x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So pag sinolve mo yon, hanapin mo yung kanyang range para may pair yung x natin, and i-graph mo siya. So again, this broken red line, no? This broken red line is an example of our oblique asymptotes, pero hindi siya ganito exactly, ha? Basta ganyan lang yung kanyang itsura. Okay? Pa-slant siya. Okay, or diagonal. So you can have your vertical, your graph as like this, like that, or like this, or like that, depende. Okay, at least meron kayong idea na ganito yung itsura kapag merong oblique asymptote. Okay, or slant, may slant siya. Okay, sige. Next, Find the asymptotes of the following rational function. I of x is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 3 over x squared minus 5x plus 4. Okay, so let's solve for the vertical asymptote. Okay, to find the vertical asymptotes, reduce the function by factoring the numerator and denominator. So if a factor muna natin, of course, the factor of this will have x minus 3 and x plus 1 for the numerator. And for the denominator, we have x minus 4 and x minus 1. Again, alam niyo na yan kung paano naging x minus 3 and x minus 1. Sa baba naman, naging x minus 4 and x minus 1. Okay, so if a factor mo lang siya. Okay, and then we can cancel x minus 1 and x minus 1. So matitira na lang is x minus 3 over x minus 4. Okay? So we are going to equate our denominator to 0 para mahanap yung ating vertical asymptote. So x minus 4 is equal to 0. So we'll have x is equal to 4. Therefore, our vertical asymptote is equal to 4. Okay? So instead of having two asymptotes at x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 4, this rational function has one whole at x equal to 1 and one vertical at x is equal to 4. So kung napapansin nyo kanina dito, okay, na-cancel yung x minus 1. Pero kung i-equate mo silang dalawa, you can have two values for our vertical asymptotes. Pero hindi pwede kasi nga na-cancel yung x minus 1. Di ba sabi din kanina, kapag pinactor mo yung equation, tapos may na-cancel ka, okay, yung mga na-cancel na yun, they will represent whole in the graph. Okay? So, our x is equal to 1 here is whole. So, bakit? Kasi yung x, kapag yung x dito, pinalitan mo yung ng 1, we will have error or we have zero or undefined value, okay, of our denominator. So, our x here is one whole of our function. So, isa lang yung pwede, okay? Isa lang yung vertical point natin, that is vertical asymptote that is at x is equal to 4. So, kapag nag-sketch tayo ng graph, ito yung magiging itsura niya, okay? So, dito yung ating vertical asymptote. Okay, so, yun na siya kasi. Okay, next. Hanapin natin si horizontal asymptote. Okay, kung nakapansin nyo, yung ating leading coefficient, n, our n here, or x squared is 2. Yung degree naman niya dito sa denominator is 2. So, parehas sila. Our n is equal to m. Kapag equal sila ng ginagawa natin, the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree of the denominator. The leading coefficient of both the numerator and denominator is 1. So, the graph has the line y equal to 1 as the horizontal asymptote. Okay, so yung x squared natin, ano yung kanyang numerical coefficient dito is 1. Yung x squared din dito sa baba, meron din siyang 1, di ba? So 1 divided by 1 will give us 1. Therefore, our horizontal asymptote y is equal to 1. So kapag ginrap natin, ganyan. Okay? So dito ka mag-graph dito, pwede rin dito, pwede rin dito, pwede rin dito. So at least meron kang guide kung paano mag-sketch ng graph ng ating rational function. Okay? Ganun siya kasimple. Okay? Yeah, baby.